My name is Elnaz. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Tehran, Iran, but ethnically I'm Kurdish, which is in Kurdistan, which is also in Iran, but it's just a different ethnic group. I used to live in Australia, and when I moved back from Australia to Iran, when I signed up for school, they do an interview before you get in. And during that interview, the person who was interviewing me asked me what my religion was, and I said that I was Christian, and I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to say that. And then she asked me if my whole family is, and I said yes, like we all converted when we were in Australia. And I went to Christian school and all of that. And then once that was done, she told me that, do you know like what the sentence is for being Christian in Iran? And I said no. And she said, well, you can get hanged. And your whole family can too. I'm crying because I got really scared. And then she told me not to worry and that she'll lead me to the right way, I guess. And like she'll turn me into a Muslim, I guess. And after that, during my whole like experience in middle school, she would take me out of like recess and any break I got or any fun classes, and she would make me like learn prayers in Arabic and like read the Quran that they have, and to like memorize verses. And she did that through all the 3 years that I was in middle school. The teachers who were religious, because we did have some that weren't, they would always target me and like talk about me, and I was always scared that they would tell someone in the government, because if they did, then they would take me away, that I was Christian.
Iran has handed down its first death sentence to a protester taking part in the mass uprising against the Iranian leadership, which has seen thousands take to the streets demanding basic human rights. Human rights groups are concerned that this won't be the first death sentence and that many more could follow for people who are arrested simply for protesting against brutal treatment at the hands of the Iranian authorities. Now, these protests all started with the death of one young woman, Mahsa Amini, 22 years old. She was taken into custody by the Iranian morality police for incorrectly wearing her hijab, and she was later beaten to death. Thousands have taken to the streets of Iran across dozens of cities, demanding those basic human rights, and they're showing no signs of slowing down, despite rough treatment and risking death at the hands of the Iranian security forces.
I was also involved in protests. My whole family basically kind of was. My brothers, my uncles, everyone I knew was somehow involved, because no one wanted the government unless they were a part of the government. And then during that time in Iran, a lot of people got killed, a lot of people got arrested. Like, I remember once I went out with my family to protest, and like we were just sitting in our cars and honking, and then the police started attacking everyone and breaking down windows. It was just a really hard time, I guess. I had a classmate who got killed during the protests, and a lot of people died. People who weren't even protesting. Sometimes people were just like walking down the streets while it was happening, and they would just shoot you. And well, I was doing this in school. I didn't really think anyone would like tell on me or anything, and I honestly don't know how it happened, but one day someone from like the authorities came into my school and they called my name and told me to go see them in the office, and they told me that they know that I've been involved in like anti-Islamic Republic like protests. And then I had this school worker there. She wasn't a teacher, but she worked in like administration, I think. That's what it's called. And one day she told my dad that it's not safe for me to keep coming to school because of what I've been doing. So my dad told me to not go for a while, and I didn't. And after a while, like my dad started getting really stressed because of everything that was really happening and like all the people that were dying. Because like you would have girls who would go out to protest and they would get caught, and they would later they would kill them, and when they examined their bodies they would find like 30 different DNAs inside them. When I stopped going to school, my school would constantly call me and tell me that I have to come back, but my dad knew that if I went back, I would get arrested. So after a while, my aunt had this house that she didn't use, and it was empty. So I went and stayed there for a while because my dad thought this would be safe as no one knows where it is. So I stayed there for a while, and while I was there, we had the police come to my house where my mom and my brothers were. My mom told them that we're not in Tehran right now, and that we're in Elam, which is the city near Kurdistan. And they said that as soon as I get back, that they have to tell, like she has to tell them. And it was then that my dad was like, okay, like they're gonna take her away, so I have to like figure out a way to get her out. So they found someone who had a way of me leaving the country with my dad. So I left Iran, and they kind of bribed the airport because I wasn't allowed to leave. Like if they found me in the airport, they would take me away. But I think they bribed them, and we went to Turkey. And then after Turkey, we went to Mexico. We had cartels stop us and take our money and like threaten to kill us. And they even hurt my dad. And at first, like we would hide the money, but then they just did a lot of things during that ride that like really hurt me. It was just the journey to get to America was really, really hard, and it was really dangerous. And I honestly felt like they were going to kill us because like they held us at gunpoint so many times that when I finally got there, like I honestly feel like it was only God who helped us get there. And we stayed there for 2 months, but then they couldn't take us to Canada. So they said, you either go back to Iran or you can go to America. And since we knew going back to Iran wasn't an option, we went to America and we crossed the border. And me and my dad got separated during that time. And I didn't know anyone in America. And I was put in a detention center, a women's detention center. And in order to get out, you had to have a sponsor. And I didn't know anyone, which is... And then I would call my mom in the detention center because you could do that. Like, I think it was 15 minutes a day. And one day she just asked if maybe she should text one of my friends who lived in America. I didn't really like talk to her a lot, but I knew of her and I knew that she lived in America. I met her in a Bible study a while ago when I was back in Iran. I think it was 2021. And I said, yeah, you can like ask her, but I don't think she'll be willing to do that. When my brother messaged her, she got me a plane ticket, and they flew me to Michigan, and I stayed with her, and I've been staying with her ever since. My dad was also here with me for a while, but the asylum process is just such a long process that he couldn't stay because he wanted to be with the rest of my family. So he decided to go to Turkey and just live there with them. But I don't know what happened because we never ended up talking to my dad again, but he got caught in Turkey and got sent back to Iran. And now he's in Evin prison, which is the political prison. They torture people there, and like it's just not a good place to be, and you can't talk to anyone outside. Like we don't know anything. My dad's been there since I think it was March that he left, and we haven't heard anything from him. It feels really scary, especially when my dad left, because while he was here, even though he couldn't do much, I always felt like I could depend on him. But then when he left, I felt really, really lonely, and I felt like I had no one. And I miss my family, and I miss being home, and I miss feeling stable in my life and having like someone to turn to if something goes wrong, or just having my family with me and my dad. I really miss my dad. When I first reached out to Abby, I told her it'll only be for a couple months. But then as soon as I got there, her whole family got involved. Like everyone around her family actually paid for the lawyer that we needed to be able to like do the immigration stuff. And I think they just did it out of the kindness of their heart, and because they always say that they think the Lord brought me here. I wasn't expecting it at all, because I didn't think anyone would help a stranger they didn't know. And then when she did it, and then when I came, and her whole family just treated me like their own family. while I was with Abby, I went to school for like the full year, and I got a 4.1 GPA, and I graduated with like distinguished honors, I guess. And my counselor, who was helping me apply for the college just during the time, they had contacts at Hope who helped us through the process, and I also got a $30,000 scholarship from Hope. I'm very grateful for the scholarship because Hope was the only school that actually did give me that much, like $30,000. It's a lot of money, but I still have some that I need to pay. Like, there's still more money that I have to give them. And I don't really have a solution for that right now, but I'm gonna trust God because He's helped me this whole way and this whole year, so I know He won't leave me alone. I want to hopefully see my family again, but in the meantime, while I can, I want to make the best out of the opportunity that has been presented to me here and go to school and just make the best out of it and become a nurse and be able to one day maybe help people in my country too, and to also support my family back home because they need my help.